So this is session 4 and our final session. So we need to pack it in, make sure you guys are fully equipped with any questions that you have and all the tools. Not that this is the end because it's just the beginning, but all the basics. Because I'm here for you 24/7, except when I'm sleeping, golfing, or on a date. So except for that, I'm all yours.
Good to know.
It doesn't seem to leave a lot of time then.
Yeah, I got an hour a day, so this is it. Well,
Okay.
fill me in, gentlemen. What's been happening since we talked last?
Well, Kevin spoke with this gentleman, Jeff, so he can
Yeah.
kind of fill you in.
Yeah, I sent you that update, and Dave and I have done sales our whole lives, so we're pretty good at it. And he's definitely a smart guy. Already done some research. Already has a spreadsheet. He's looking at cost. I mean, he's not a complete novice in that sense. He kind of has an idea.
Real estate guy, right?
Yeah, he does commercial real estate. He sounds like he already has some really good potential committee members. So that's encouraging. I think one was the president of hospital, one might be a politician locally. So it's for his synagogue here in Baltimore. I didn't get the name specifically, but and I just kind of gave him the pitch that he's got 2 kids. He's a completely novice golfer, by the way. I think he said he played golf 1 time. So
Okay.
I said, well, soon enough you'll be dreading that you even took the game up, because it can be torturous once you
That's right.
once you get the bug. And he I just took the angle. I was honest. I said, Dave and I are just getting into this, but we've got a lot of experience in events and customer service and anticipating and executing. We've got Phil as our support, who has 100 years of experience. And I'm like, you're a busy guy. It sounds like you're juggling a lot. We're here to make this as easy as possible so that you don't have to worry about did X, Y, or Z get done 3 days before your event.
Right.
We're here to take, we're here to take care of that, and make sure that this is something you're not worried about. We'll give you complete, we follow up, we will be in touch, we'll ask the right questions, we'll get a lot of the things done that you don't have the time for, or maybe not the experience.
Right.
So I saw you saw the note about how he wanted to do it on a Sunday, which I've never personally played in a Sunday tournament, not a charity event at least.
Right.
So, but I didn't give him any feedback on it. I just kind of took it in. We want to take all the information and kind of leave it with okay, let's see how we'll get back to you with how we can help you.
So yeah, like the call tomorrow is, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's almost like you're kind of just smoking him out of his ideas and his expectations, right? And then pivoting where we need to pivot to fill in or contribute, or just let him do his thing on some aspects. What we do, I guess it's how we do this dance is going to be important.
Yeah, and I'm really excited this is happening because this is rare and good timing. Because it's a good opportunity. And well, the fun part about a guy like this is he called, he emailed us, so there's interest there. But let me just give you a couple of things to be aware of based on experience. And we never want to downplay his ideas or discourage him, whatever, but we do need to be aware of some key factors. And I've seen this happen over and over again. Number one, a synagogue to me is just like a church, right? I mean, and in the real world, churches should sustain themselves on their own. In other words, their weekly attendees should be paying money to keep the lights and the rent paid, period. Okay. If money goes to their daily operation, it's hard to get participants excited, because it's kind of like, let me just throw an extra $20 into the pot on Sunday, right? So
just not to cut you off, but I did not ask him if it was for a new building or the summer camp or some other, additional endeavor. I didn't ask that, so we can I hear what you're saying.
That will be coming up because people can get behind a project. They can say, yeah, I'll give extra for a building. I'll give extra for a, camp or whatever. But to give just so you guys can stay in business, no, if you can't sustain your church on your own, then you shouldn't be there. So that's something to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is they do sound like they got some potential. Just the fact that he's in real estate alone has got potential. But what typically happens with a charity or a church or a nonprofit is they want you to get golfers and get sponsors. And I think we've talked about this, and you would never say this directly, but you can't do that. You're not going to go out and sell a bunch of Jewish people to play golf in this thing. You just ain't going to do it. I don't care if you're both Jewish, and I don't care if you're involved in your own synagogue. You ain't going to do it. So, but you're going to help them along so that they can do it, because it's all about relationships, right? Same exact thing with sponsors. So, in a typical meeting like this, what I would be asking is who's on the committee, who's on the board, what connections do you have? So, for example, and remember, it's all about connections. So let's say, for example, he's a big real estate guy, okay? He spends money in all kinds of ways, with mortgage companies, with title companies, with developers. Okay, people like him, and he has an influence. Those are the sponsors that he goes after. You can create the packages. You could, show them how to do it. You could even go with them on a meeting with a big potential. But in reality, the way a sponsor's sold is someone on the committee's personal relationship to someone that owes them a favor. It's pretty much that simple. Because if it's not, I'll just give money to the church. What's the big deal?
Right.
So keep those couple things in mind. But it sounds like he's got some potential, and if they're willing to put the volunteer committee together and go out and connect with their relationships, then with your direction and your accountability and your timeline and your budget, then it's a no-brainer.
Gotcha.
Good one. Yeah, I love these. I hate to be profiling, but Jewish folks are great because they're all money oriented, and they all know they're all doing deals. And, it's perfect. The other thing is that golf course. I don't know anything about it. You guys know, is it special? Is it unique? Is it close? Why this golf course?
Right.
And that's a question you want to ask, because you're right. Who plays on a Sunday? I mean, nobody. I mean, that's family day. That's, that's golf with your wife day. That's not tournament day. So
we also read on the website that they don't do shotguns.
No, they only do. They don't. Right. Sorry. They don't do shotguns during the weekend, but they will do consecutive tee times.
They'll do consecutive tee times, which means the first guys are done and waiting 3 hours for the last group to finish.
Yeah, that's not a good call. So that's a great. So he hasn't signed a deal with them or anything, right?
I don't believe so.
No, I mean, and you're going to be on the call. So it's near where they're located. It's a Baltimore City course. Baltimore City has 5 courses, the Classic 5, they call it. It's probably the nicest of the 5. Some of them are.
It's on the water.
Yeah, the courses are always nice. It's like the amenities have maybe seen better days. Right. But I think he was just looking. But he did say he reached out. So, but I didn't really dig into that. I didn't. For all I know, maybe he knows somebody there. So I wanted to kind of let that play out. Maybe they do have a connection and they would make an exception for this group.
Yeah. So if that's the case, and I was going to say the only way I would even consider putting on an event there is, one, they gave you the deal of the century, and they allowed a shotgun Sunday afternoon, and all of his parishioners or all their connections say, yeah, we want a Sunday. That's the only way to do it. If not,
what's a good rate comparative to their normal rate? Are you looking for a 20% discount with a tournament, a 30%?
See, this is the problem with our industry. Golf courses are so arrogant and so not smart. They jack the price up. Okay. What they do is say, our rates are $80 because it's a tournament. We're charging $100 because we have to, we have to do the scoring, we're gonna have to.
They would actually increase what a normal. It's not always a decrease, really. Okay.
Right. And here's the other dumb thing with golf courses, and I've been preaching this forever and no one gets it. In the hotel business, if you book 10 hotel rooms, you get certain rate. But if you book 20 hotel rooms, you're getting a better rate. Am I right? So golf courses, they don't get it. If I bring 50 players, what's my rate? If I bring 150 players, what's my rate? Same thing. Okay. So it all boils down to negotiation. First of all, find out what their, we'll find out what their commitment is to this golf course and what the benefits are and so forth and so on. And then secondly, your job, our job is to go and negotiate. So maybe we go in, maybe not this golf course, but another golf course and say, hey, we got 100 players. Tell us what day is best for you. What day can we fill a slot to get a better deal?
Right.
And what are you offering? Right. And then it's all about, listen, the secret to negotiation, as you know, is the ability to walk away. So if you're stuck with one golf course and that you got to do it there, you're stuck with whatever they say. But if you have 3 options, you weigh out the benefits. What's the cost? What's the value? What's the amenities? What's the best, like you would do a car? What's the best deal on the car? So that's why I always like to have 3 or 4 quotes and say, what are you willing to do to get our business? I flat out say it, how bad do you want our business? So.
Another question, and I hate to keep jumping around, but
no, it's okay.
I know you have what we have to do, but this is so top of mind right now. When it comes to picking the course and they're offering the food and beverage as part of the package. Now, to use your line, to get away from a burnt hot dog and 2 drink tickets, how do you know what that package is going to be as far as a nice package? Right?
I flat out ask them, I say, okay, you're giving us $120 rate and that includes lunch. What is the lunch? What's the value of that lunch? Because you may say to the guy, well, listen, we're going to have the golf tournament here, but we're going down to the restaurant down the street and doing lunch there.
Would they allow the restaurant to bring on to the course if you did box lunches, or is that always a no-no? Well,
not always a no-no. In some cases, it's a no-no because the golf course does want the food and beverage revenue.
Sure.
But some are really firm about it and say, no way, no outside drinks, no outside food. We control it. And if they charge in stupid rates for lunch, then I consider going off the golf course and just having everyone shuttle to the restaurant down the street, And
the capacity to be able to feed 144 people, right? I mean, a lot of times, look, we go tee off and it's one lady behind the counter and she's trying to make your egg sandwich before tea time. And you don't get to putt because she took forever, right?
Well, so that's the difference. That's the difference between a city-owned municipal course and a private country club. See, I hope that you guys make a few phone calls to see what private country club is close that you have an option to on a Monday or Tuesday afternoon, and bring that up as an option. But the other thing is that, again, it's all about negotiation, getting the best value for the best price. So if you knowledge of the other surrounding places, if it's a good deal or not. Let me tell you what a really good deal is. Let's say they offer and allow you to bring in outside vendors. Then someone in the Jewish church is the owner of the deli down the street. Right. And they want to be the sponsor of the lunch. Boom, home run. You bring in the food, you just saved yourself $20 a player, $25 a player. It's a win-win. But it all boils down to what the golf course is and what their rules are. The city courses are a little bit more lax than private country clubs. You'll find that out.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. What was some other things? So we have the golfers, we have the sponsorships we talked about, the cause is what you're saying, and the golf courses. Is there any, if we're using what you sent over as kind of the template to get into these conversations tomorrow, you really want to start with how many golfers that they have. Is there a flow that you would like us to take along with you that kind of smokes them out and gets some of these questions, or is it?
Well, this is totally up to you. This is your baby. This is your call. I'm
Mhm.
willing to take the lead and roll with it. You guys can jump in whenever. I mean, I have a set thing in my mind where I'm going with a conversation, but
Mhm.
you know, if you guys feel confident, you're more than willing to take the lead. If you'd rather me take it, I'm more than happy to do that too. Whatever you guys say.
I would say that we'd like to watch you do your thing,
Okay, that'd
you
be
know,
great.
and I think that would be a great template for us to follow.
Right.
And obviously, you're more knowledgeable about it than we are, and but we will jump in to
Yep.
show that we're smart.
And yeah, that's a good idea. And feel free to interject. Just don't. And I know you guys aren't like this, but I've had guys that ramble on about BS. And I'm going, oh my, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, please.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Don't talk. Don't.
that's not.
We're,
We have a direction that we're going. We stay on the path, and we have certain questions to get us there. It's that, you know.
Mhm.
But that, you know, that takes time. And I'm not. And this is
How long
again.
you think, how long would you plan for this call? I just, because I'll follow it with Jeff and just confirm it and just.
Well, I tell you.
Half
I tell
hour,
you,
45,
I would think at minimum 30 minutes, yeah, to ask the right questions. And is it just going to be him, or he's got someone else on the?
No,
No, I think it's just him so far.
just him.
Oh,
So-
okay, all right. Well, then we'll
So-
probably just dazzle him and say, you know, do you know how far he is from you guys?
I'll take a half an hour. So I already told him that once we get this going, Dave and I will come sit with him in person. And then obviously by then, hopefully he'll have a committee of some sort, or
Yeah,
we'll go meet with all of them in person. Obviously,
we
that's
got to find out who signs contracts, who signs checks, who's the bottom line. Is he a volunteer? Is he in charge and has full reign? What's the setup? Because whoever's involved in that setup, it'd be, you know, it's one thing to get him all excited and signed off and ready to roll, and then find out that the pastor of the church has to make all the decisions.
Right.
So he can get them all excited and say, well, so who else is involved in the decision-making process? Can we get face to face with, you know, all your team, you know?
And then determining cost to them for us. That would be submitted within the proposal.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The way it's sounding like to me is based on what I'm hearing. It depends on how, again, a couple of factors. If it's just your basic run-of-the-mill tournament, you know, I think for $5,000, you guys can give them direction and never get off your seat. You know, Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, and you know, maybe go out and see the golf course and be there the day of the event. I mean, to me, it's a $5,000 to $7,500 deal. If he says we have pros, we have celebrities, we want some media coverage, we need a host hotel, we're bringing in people from out of town, then that's going to get up into the $10,000 to $15,000 range, you know, depending on, again, a lot of factors.
Yeah. Well, I
think
that's a little bit further reach than what maybe honestly we're prepared for at this point. Not that we wouldn't let that known, but
you are prepared for anything. The answer is always yes.
Now what's
and
the
we
question?
just figure it out. Yeah,
well, and the beauty, you know, the beauty of this is it's in May. We got 7 months. I mean, seriously, that does make us like we can figure almost anything. Most of this we feel very good about, but and that other stuff we got 7 months to figure out. And it is a partnership with him. You know, he's got to do a lot of the heavy lifting as well. So
right,
we feel
right.
good about that. But the fee part, you know, yeah. So Dave and I's instinct is like, you know, take all the information in and then get back to you. So we'll, you know, kind of right. What do you need? And our fee will. We don't want to quote money until after, you know, until we don't want to
Get the scope.
jump to a number when we're not sure exactly right what the scope of the job is. Is it ever a percentage? Like if he feels comfortable, he's going to raise 75,000 or
Phil doesn't like the percentages because
you never know.
they fill up.
I don't like percentages on charities because they're number one, they're frowned upon. In the nonprofit world, percentages from charities are frowned upon because it's taking money out of the charity's pocket. So I've had to kind of structure it where it's not necessarily a percentage, but it's a bonus fee. In other words, so let's say, you know, you get your regular fee, and if it's going to take 7 months, guys, right off the top of my head, without thinking, $7,000, $1,000 a month through the process. Okay.
Right. Well, let me rephrase the question. It's not a percentage it's a percentage of the revenue they expect. So like you're saying, it's like, if this is gonna be 72 golfers or whatever, and they're gonna raise 40 grand, do you say, okay, $4,000, 10% in our head, not on paper?
Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, what are they, what's the client? Okay, 10% of what we're gonna gross, that's fair. Versus like you're saying, hey, we've got a couple of football players and we're gonna do 100 grand in revenue, that's, I know you talked about the hours as well, like calculating, okay, it's gonna be 20 hours, kind of doing that, but it sounds like it's kind of instinctual for you.
Yeah. 10% is a little bit on the low end. And I'll give you an example. If someone came to you out of the blue and presented an event and said, will you sell for us for 10%? The answer is most likely going to be no, unless it's a very, very big ticket item. Okay. So fundraising is normally 20 to 25%. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay.
Okay.
But in this situation, if it's a simple little event, they need direction, you're going to want to show them that they could make 40 to 60,000, and your fee is, $1,000 a month. Now they've never done this before, right? So that's 40, 50, 60,000 of found money, But I would also look at what's their goal. What do they need the money for? That gets back to what do they need the money for? We just want to raise 50 just because. Give me a specific reason and amount so we can make that as our goal and get after it.
Are you ever apprehensive of putting a total number of what they could do out there, like floating 40 to 50 out there?
I do that all the time. If you look at those things I sent over to you, did you get them, by the way?
I did. Yeah.
We did.
Okay. Yeah, because here's the thing, guys. Here's the philosophy. If you put on there, oh yeah, we might make 10 grand and then your fee's 7. What good is that?
Of
But
course.
if you put on there, I think the potential is 50 grand. If you do what you say you can do, then, our fee is a piddly little 7,
I hear you.
Okay. Then, keep in mind, as far as the percentages go, getting back to that question, if you say I'm in charge of an association, let's just say the General Contractors Association says, we'll pay you a fee of 7 grand and 10% of, the net or the gross, then I'm all over it because it's a different sell. I can go out and sell business to business versus charity, which is personal touch. Does that make sense?
Explain a little bit more to business.
Right. So let's just say you have the General Contractors Association. This is made up of a bunch of general contractors. Okay.
Right.
We know that in this golf tournament, there's a bunch of general contractors playing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is 100 times easier for you to go to a subcontractor, a cement company, a brick company, and say, hey, do you want to reach 100 contractors? Well, heck yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an easier sell than going to a parishioner, or I don't even know what they call them, at a synagogue and say, hey, do you want to donate 5 grand just because?
I hear you.
So associations, I tend to do, I will make myself available to sell sponsorships. It takes a lot more time, so it's a lot more money, and the rate's going to be 20%.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, here's something very, very important, guys. I also do it on the gross, not the net, unless I have fully in charge of the budget and every dollar that goes out. Let me tell you what's happened. Okay, so they say, okay, well, you get 10% of the net. Okay, great. Then they go and spend money on certain things that I never approved.
Mm-hmm.
And then well, what's this bill? I didn't approve this. Yeah, sorry, the net's nothing. Well,
yeah,
because I had no, and that's happened to me before. That's why I charge a fee and don't freak out about it,
Right. Now, when it comes to your the upsell on the shirts or whatever other things, do you present that as, like with the internet, and I think I may have asked you this question, with the internet, you can find out what everything costs down to the penny, right? No, so if you quote a number, and obviously you're building in, I talked to the gentleman in Florida, and he would always add 20% to, the shirts or whatever.
Right.
How do you explain away, or how do you explain if someone goes on and goes, well, online, I'm getting them for $5, you're charging me $7.50. Now, you can say, I'm in charge of making sure that all the logos are correct, and I'm the middleman, and I'm taking care of it, and the delivery charges and all this other stuff. Is there a way to package that if brought up, you have an answer?
Yeah, the first of all, you said the right answer. We do all the work. We're going to take time. You don't have to think about it. But the other second answer, and I think this is at least what I've learned, you can go buy a cheapy little polo shirt for 15 bucks online, but it's crap. And that you need to say, well, we have a better stitcher for your logo. We have a better quality shirt. When you feel it, you're going to like it better. And here's the bottom line. If you were to go out and buy this shirt, you personally, it's going to be 25 bucks. But because of our relationships in the wholesale, we're going to get it for 20.
Right.
And in reality, you're getting it for 15,
Right.
But again, it's just going to depend.
The markup still doesn't touch the retail. That's the point.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You're still getting them the best deal possible.
I got you. Okay. Great. Anything else?
No.
All right.
All right. Okay. So guys, I'm going to take it to the next level here for the next 30 minutes. And that is because you need to be prepared for this. Right now, pretty much we've been talking about scrambles and best balls and all the basic formats, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to give you a couple of extra tools in your belt to sell. Okay. Are you familiar with a golf-a-thon or a golf marathon?
I've never participated in one of those.
I have
Do you know
not.
how they operate?
Not well.
Okay. All right. This is very, very important. Very important. I'll tell you why. Number one is this is a phenomenal fundraiser and big money for you if you do it right. So, for example, this church may be a perfect example for it. A school is great for it. A cheerleading squad, a soccer team, where they're not going to be able to go out and get big sponsors and make big money. Okay. So you present the idea of a golf-a-thon or a golf marathon, which is basically like a walk-a-thon.
Mm-hmm.
So you go out and you get yourself 40 golfers. That's all you need is 40. And they go out and race pledges per hole. And ideally, they play 100 holes of golf in one day. Because you reserve the golf course, it's all yours. You can, in some cities, some states, you can rent a golf course for the whole day for $5 grand. But let's say worst case, it's 10 grand. Okay, let's say you bought the whole golf course on a Monday. It's kind of on the outskirts of town, and you bought the whole golf course for 10 grand. It's yours. Then go out and get 40 people, and you teach them how to raise pledges. So they're going to go to their friends. You probably heard this in some of the videos or some of the material, but they're going to go out and they're going to raise $1 a hole from their buddy or 50 cents a hole. But the goal for each player is to raise $25 per hole in pledges. Then they're going to play 100 holes of golf. Okay. So one golfer is going to raise $2,500 by themselves. And if you have 40 golfers doing that, you just raised 100 grand.
Mm-hmm.
You pay 10 grand to the golf course and you netted 9,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the concept. And I think you need to be aware of it and feel comfortable with it, because it's a great suggestion to schools and, clubs that don't have the potential of selling any sponsors. As we know, sponsors are the profit. But what do you do with a little league baseball team?
Right.
Where are you going to get big sponsors for that, or a soccer team, or a cheerleading squad, or a band, a high school band?
Mm-hmm.
So the golf-a-thon or golf marathon, and I'm going to send you the manual again, but it's a gold mine.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, to be honest with you, that's how I started my whole career. Is I would charge $7,000 and 15% of the gross. Well, guess what? If I raise 100 grand, guess how much that is?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of money if it's done, and they're happy to pay you. No one's happy to pay you, but they're excited. I mean, I've done that before. I raised money for Make-A-Wish, over 60 grand, and they were freaking out. You shouldn't make this much money. And I'm going, oh my God, it's in the contract.
Yeah.
I just raised you an extra 35,000 you never had before, you know?
Right, right.
So a golf-a-thon or a golf marathon is very, very a good concept to sell. Be aware of it, feel comfortable with it, and know that that's a big tool in your toolbox. Okay. Now, the other couple of big tools is a pro-am or a celebrity am. Have you ever been involved with those?
No, but I'm pretty familiar with them.
Okay. Well, especially in your line of work, you need to be experts in that, because coming from your background, I think you should tout at least celebrity ams. So now what happens, and I want you to be aware of this, because this may be a suggestion that you bring up to the synagogue. They like, you know, rubbing elbows with celebrities and so forth. That will be a question. Do you have, you know, 20 to 30 celebrities that you know? And a celebrity can just be someone who's well known, you know. And like this politician, he could be a celebrity, right? Or a successful business person. So a celebrity, you just simply, with a celebrity am, you just put one celebrity in each foursome, and you charge double or triple. But you get a lot more media exposure. You can get more sponsors. So a celebrity am is very, very a good tool. And then a pro-am is where you put a golf pro in a foursome. And there's a dozen ways to do that, but that's also double, triple the registration fees if you put a pro in the foursome.
If you don't have enough celebrities to fill every foursome or a pro, and you're charging double, are you just charging double for the particular foursome?
Well, that's the magic scenario, because it's always hard to get 36 pros, one for every foursome. So what I normally do was 2 or 3 things. One, you have your basic rate that everyone charges. And then if you get your list of your celebrities, you can do 1 of 2 things. One, you can say, if you want a celebrity in your foursome, it's double.
Gotcha.
If you don't, it's regular price. Or you can have a cocktail party the week before where you're bidding for each celebrity. We want that guy. We'll bid this, we'll bid that. And then that's like a Calcutta. And then guys get excited about that.
Okay.
It's another way to make some money on a party.
Got it.
And then the final format I want to talk to you about is you're owning your own events. And I know it's early, we're not even done with training, but eventually it's going to hit you. Why are we helping all these people make 90% of the money and we make only 10 or 20, right? So there may be a point in time where you say, we want to create the radio station, you know, state championship, and we're going to shoot for a foursome out of every radio station, and we're going to put together a golf tournament, and then we'll give 10% to you know, the children's hospital. So you keep that in the back of your mind. I like to call them industry challenges. So and again, don't be thinking about it right now, but keep it in the back of your mind that may pop up, and you may say to yourself, this is a perfect scenario. Well, let's put this together.
Okay.
All right. All right. And then the final tool is the night golf tournament. Have you played in night golf?
I have not, and I'm interested to see how that actually gets executed beyond the balls glowing.
Okay. Well, hold on.
I have the NGTAA.
All right. So I actually have 2 of them. One is for the golf course. Which one does that say? Does it say night golf course operations manual?
Night Golf Tournament Association, Night Golf Operation Manual, yes.
Okay. All right. So that is designed for a golf course on how to host events. So this is was given out to golf courses at the PGA show, and it teaches them how to host events. So read this manual, you know, every word of that. And then I'm going to email you from a charity's perspective. Now, it's important that you know both, because one, you'll understand what the golf course needs to do, or you can do it. Or 2, you can understand what the charities needs to do. So you'll see in there that there are, in fact, there's a layout on page 9 of the golf course. And so, yes, you use glowing golf balls, but you also use glow sticks around sand traps, around the fairway, around the green, and then you light up the flag stick and the hole. So it's played in complete dark, and you may want to give every group a flashlight so that they don't, walk in pit holes or drive over a snake or something. And then, you play 9 holes in the dark. It's a hoot, it's fun. And these are better created for corporate entertainment. So if there's a company that says, hey, we want to do something fun and unique, it's not really a huge fundraiser. It's more of a, networking, let's have fun, unique, different, and it allows a whole bunch of people to play. It's kind of like saying, let's go put on a miniature golf. Anybody can go out and play miniature golf, right? So anybody can do night golf. So we have a really great video on our YouTube channel. So make a note to go to the golf tournament channel and look at that video. And it's an event for Corona. And that was Corona came to me and said, we want to put on an event, for all of the bartenders, bar owners in town, because they're trying to promote their beer, right? So it was all paid for by them and the distributor, and it was great. That's the video that you're going to see. But a golf course, what typically happens is many golf courses, what they'll do is they'll host their own night golf tournament, and then they'll just open it up to the public. Say, come on out and play 9 holes of golf in the dark, and then they'll get 80 to 100 players doing it that way. So if you can help golf courses, so as you're talking to golf courses, ask them, have you ever done a night golf tournament before? You want another way to raise some money, and then that's going to get them excited to work with you, and you've given them a new idea to generate money at night during the summer that they've never raised before.
What would it cost to light up like this map is for that hole? Like what all the sticks, all the bells and whistles here, what would something like that cost per hole?
If you will look on page 12,
Got it.
you're going to see a budget.
Yeah.
And you're
Okay.
going to see a breakdown. And so basically, I would say all in equipment and everything, it's about anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, depending on how many players. So you're going to have to, add on, an extra $10, $15 per player just to cover the equipment cost. But you're going to get it at wholesale because we have the manufacturer that we work with and get it all at wholesale.
I would expect that to cost a lot more.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
it doesn't. It's not that expensive at all.
Okay. What kind of insurance do you need to carry on a night?
Well, you shouldn't have to. A golf course should have their own insurance.
Would they need to do something different for a night?
Well, it should be blanket, and again, it just depends on the golf course and how, jittery they are. But typically they have golf courses have liability insurance. Someone, crashes a cart or stumbles in the steps or whatever, should be covered.
Sure. I just didn't know if it changed when you got a drunk guy trying to drive around at nighttime.
Yeah. In fact, you'll have golf courses that won't want to do it because of that.
Yeah.
It depends, it also depends on the difficulty of the golf course. If you got a bunch of lakes and a bunch of traps and hills and everything else, they're not going to want to get excited. But you find a couple of flatter golf courses, and that's give them a new revenue idea.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fun.
All right. So how's the website coming along?
We're ready to launch. I'm just going to clean up a few things, and then we're launching November 1.
Okay.
And have that up.
And then what about your business plan? You feel good about that?
Yep, we can give you the updated. We've been tweaking it as we gone, so we'll send you the updated version of that.
All right. So what is going to stop you from starting to make phone calls next week?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, you're ready. You feel confident. You feel ready to go.
Definitely.
With your support, absolutely.
I work for you, so
No, we feel
Yeah.
very good. We feel very good. We both feel like we're good salespeople. I don't know if I remember if I told you I was talking about to Bank of America about some merchant services like credit card payments and stuff.
right.
And the gentleman I was speaking to, I was telling him what we were doing, and he said, "Man, I just had a friend who had to throw a tournament for like his 50 best sales guys, and it was a big pain in the ass." And it took hours, and immediately he saw the business opportunity. Immediately he was like, and it just felt good that we were moving into a space that there's opportunities. Dave and I think are most concerned about execution. The things we don't know, we're
Right.
very cautious about not saying, answering questions we don't have the answer to. But as things come together, how's this going to work? And
Right.
We've both have bosses in the past that have, when you try to bullshit a little bit, the beat down came.
Right.
So,
Right.
it was tell me exactly how the conversation went, because I'm going to run with what you tell me. And if you tell it to me wrong, it's going to come back on you like
Right.
hellfire. So
Right.
we have,
I'll give you-
cautious movement is what it's in our blood. And we want to make sure that we know our shit. That's the bottom line.
And I'll give you an example. I was ready to call Pine Ridge Golf Course to kind of work through some of the questions, right? Would they do a Sunday or whatever? But I'm like, well, wait a minute. Maybe Jeff knows somebody there. Maybe somebody in the synagogue knows somebody. Maybe they did have a conversation. Let me be completely informed. And I kind of didn't know. It's like, should I tell this person the client we're potentially working with? Let me wait a second. But after we speak to Jeff tomorrow, we'll have those conversations. So we'd like to be fully informed. Some of that is logistical things. How do you buy the hole-in-one insurance and all these other millions of little details that you're going to help us walk through. But we feel very good about.
You got to start. You got to start somewhere and get into it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I want you to call every vendor and supplier, and I'll give you the top ones for you to call and just meet them. Just get to know them and find out what's the best way, because you never know. Those could be a big, huge source of leads for you too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we ever asked you this question, but like on the hole-in-one insurance, obviously I think that's a pretty sexy sell for a sponsor. It's cool. It's like the lottery. Does the sponsor pay the insurance plus a fee? So they're going to pay the $1,500 for the insurance, and they're going to pay $1,500 for to sponsor that hole.
Well, first of all, yeah, the answer is it's going to depend. See, what's going to happen is you're going to find, let's say, car companies who are really experienced in this, and they're going to come in and say, we will sponsor the hole-in-one. We'll pay the insurance to be a sponsor. So they're going to try to get away with just doing that. The perfect world is say, no, we got this covered. We'd love to have you as a sponsor. And we've already got the insurance. We got a better price and so forth. But it will cost you, $2,500 to do it all. And if he goes, well, I've already got a deal with our hole-in-one insurance company, and we've got this thing all set up. Say, well, then fine, okay, go ahead and do that, but it's still going to be an extra $2,000 for you to sponsor that hole. Okay. Don't let them sponsor the hole just by paying the insurance, because you don't make any money. There's no money there. They get the benefits, but you don't get to make any money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And nobody plays in a tournament for a hole-in-one contest. I mean, it's a nice add-on, but it's not why you're going to play.
Exactly. Right. It's a benefit.
Get the hole. Okay, that's great, but so
right.
Any other?
No, I'm just looking at my notes and I made. If there's anything that jumped out. Oh, we feel pretty good.
Good.
About tomorrow.
Right. So I'm going to send you a Golf-A-Thon manual. I'm going to send you a manual on night golf tournament for charity. And then the big thing, I'm going to send you the test. So, you'd said we want to feel confident. When you finish this test, it's 100 questions, then you're going to feel confident, because you'll pass it, and then you'll get the little certification thing. And then you're ready to roll we start promoting you. We make a big announcement. We put your pictures on the website. I give you a bunch of leads, and that's what the $1,000 a year cover. And I'm going to do you both because you're the same company for that.
Okay, great. Can you send us some of the newsletters as well?
Yeah.
Either the monthly newsletters or the weekly,
Yes.
whatever you're doing daily.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I think that I could start putting them on the website in a section and have that just as bulk.
Right.
You know,
Well, just to make a note, you can find them pretty much all on our blog. If you go to our website, look under education and look under blog.
okay.
There's a whole bunch of them there too.
And can you send me, when we're done, a high resolution of that certificate logo so I can put that everywhere as well?
You're going to get a certificate. You're going to get the GTAA logo, and then you're going to get a certified consultant logo.
Great.
Emblem.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
There's a test. Wait.
What? I want to make sure you guys
Don't be sick.
know your stuff.
Right.
You can't flunk, by the way. But
Yeah.
Good.
Well, how do you feel that are we asking the right questions? Are we,
yeah,
you
guys are better, more far along, better, well equipped than most of the people that I've worked with. So I'm really excited about you guys. And I know you're going to get after it because you're serious business guys, and I see this being successful.
Great. Thank you. All right. We're ready to rock.
We are.
Right.
Thank you. And
All
we'll be in touch.
We'll talk
All right.
tomorrow. All
But
right.
remember, keep the questions coming. Anything pops up in the meantime, send them over. I'm here to answer them.
Okay. And we'll be
Yeah,
on
we'll talk
tomorrow.
We'll talk tomorrow. Yep, you got it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys.